My lovely viewers, wherever you are, I am welcoming you again to this wonderful episode, wonderful presentation, which is called Tuesday Class Job Market. Tuesday Class Job Market because it is a series of sequences where we are following step by step and procedures of getting the job, searching for the job, following the job, entering there, getting employed, and then getting recruitment and getting everything until to the point where we are going to get retirement. In short, we are trying to follow the processes from the graduation level, how you can search for a job, you apply for them, then you conduct your interviews and get recruited and get employed and get retained, trained, developed until the moment now you become a fully blown staff member who is a very good performer until the time you will be retiring. So it's a sequence, a series, step by step that we have been handling. Remember, we started by how to search for the job. We did that, how to write letters of application, how to write the CVs, all those procedures. In case you missed any of the episode or you are joining us for the first time, please make sure that you go into my Facebook page, which is called Common Sense Is It Common, and also make sure you follow me in my YouTube channel, which is called Andedo Mark. There we have a lot of contents, we have a lot of videos and a lot of presentations, trainings, comments that also can really help you and develop you. It's not all about those who are searching for job, it's everybody, because anything you do, even self-employed, that is kind of the job. So the presentation we have there are some of the well-researched and conducted interviews, conducted readings that we really know that are going to help you or any other person that might be viewing, watching, and also commenting on this. So welcome again to today's episode. This is episode 6. In episode 6, we are going to talk about the interview in general, but this interview I am going to divide it into 3 sections because interview is a wider perspective that we cannot finish within one sitting. So we are going to divide it into 2. 2 means that we are going to have episode 1. So we will be having episode 6 part 1, episode 6 part 2, then episode 6 part 3, meaning preparation for the interview, attending the interview, and then after, or we call it post-interview. We will also maybe be naming it the follow-up activities. These are some of the steps that most of us we tend to avoid, we tend to assume, but in real sense they are very, very important. 2 days ago I got a call from one of my friend and was asking, this thing you talked about called the blind call. Blind call is something that most people don't do. No wonder you get that by the end of the day, we keep on asking, how come so and so was employed, yet I'm even qualified than him or her. The thing is, if you're not careful, maybe he or she did what is called a blind call. Blind call is a matter of trial and error. You don't wait for a vacancy to be advertised. You don't wait for somebody to introduce you. By the end of the day, what you are going to do is you are just going to take your phone, get any contact from anywhere, then you call. You just confirm, do you have any vacancy in this area? So that is called a blind call. Are you getting that? Yeah. So many people don't do it, but the few who do it, by the end of the day, you get that they are given a chance to do what? They are given a chance to enter there. So today, let's see. Before we attend the interview, what are some of the things that we are supposed to get involved into, or what are some of the preparation we are supposed to do? Please, it is very, very important to get a point whereby you prepare for the interview. We don't just wake up and attend interview. You might be having the best CV, the best qualification, but if you don't prepare for the interview, you will lose it. I have some of the few points that we'll be going through so that we help each other. We know what are some of the things we are supposed to do before we get into interview. Number 1, make sure you do the better search on the job you are going to be interviewed on. Make sure you know if it is electrical engineering, if it is a teaching job. Make sure you do the search well. If it is a training job, if it is maybe a plumber job, make sure you have done a lot of research and you know the job description, job prescription, job location, and everything, so that because most of the question will come in relation to that job. So make sure at least you do 1, 2, 3 search about the job description and you have them on your fingertip. Number 2, make sure that the company that is going to conduct your interview, you know most of it, its generation, especially how did it start. If maybe this is not the mother company, make sure that at least you do the search, you know about the mother company, when did it start, what is the vision, maybe if it's a private company, who is the owner, what is the generation, the foundation, the background of the owner is very good, so that when you go there, you don't look like a new person. By the end of the day, they will know that this person was really interested in our company, no wonder he or she did a lot of research. So make sure that at least the company you are going to attend the interview, you did research about it, and at least you know some information about its services, about its product, about the number of staff that are there roughly, the management structure, you know at least location, geographical location, and all that. So do that research. Number 3, consider why you are attending the interview. Most of us, either we are too much psyched that we don't know the reason as why we are attending that interview. You have been waiting for a job, you have been praying for the job, but now here comes a chance where you are going for the interview, meaning that get prepared that you are going there psychologically, physically, and anything possible. You are in your best fit mind, you are in your best fit dress code, so that when you go there, at least you have the reasons as why you attend there. You don't look like a confused person or wondering why you are attending the interview. Then number 4, research about the questions, some of the possible questions. After knowing the job description, our main aim of knowing the job description is to know some of the questions that you will be asked. Make sure you have rough questions somewhere about the job. For example, you are a teacher, you might be asked, how do we do lesson plan? How do we do class attendance register? How do we do the blackboard arrangement? How do we deliver if you're a lecturer? How do we prepare the notes? How do we do our Excel presentations? How do we do such kind of presentation? So have your rough questions about the job, so that when you reach there, at least out of 10, 20 questions you prepared as a person, at least few of them will also come. Prepare on that. Then practice public speaking. Please, please, please. Anybody who can talk, anybody who can shout does not mean is a good public speaker. Most of us, we can joke, most of us, we can talk in groups, but whenever you are given a platform to be in front of somebody, or you are within people listening to you, you become naive, you start shivering, you get confused, and all that. One way by which you can avoid that, collect your family members. If you are a father, collect your wife and your children, put them together and assume that they are interviewing you. Do that dummy demonstration, do that dummy questions and answers and presentation. Introduce yourself and assume that you are at the platform, so that when you go there, at least some of the ideas you are depicting before the mirror or before your family members will be encouraging you. Then prepare the thoughtful questions that we have talked about. Number 8, talk about do the mock interview. That is the same as doing the presentations. Presentation, remember how to keep audience active. Make sure there is face-to-face connection. Face-to-face connection. Then also, apart from face-to-face connection, you can do what is called the question and answer. Ask one of your child, ask a question, ask something like maybe, what are some of this, how can you, maybe if I ask you this a question, how are you going to answer that question? Are you getting that? So do what is called that, maybe question and answer. Rhetorical question can help you also do that, because they will be doing that to you. You see, when they do that to you, make sure that also you have practiced it and you are in a position to do it. Are we together? Then number 10, print your copies of CVs. Make sure they are okay there, and then those basic errors, please make sure you correct them. The basic errors are like, for example, your name is misspelled, maybe some of the former schools are misspelled, some of the name of that company is misspelled. Those basic errors, make sure you correct them and have your physical print. Nowadays, I know people are used to internet, people are used to phone, people are used to tablet. You go interview with tablet and iPhone. Please don't do that. Make sure apart from what you presented through the email, you also have the physical appearance of them. Then plan your travel arrangement. Most people, especially maybe African countries or some other countries, transportation is a problem. Don't misinterpret or don't misjudge the distance. Make sure that you prepare as early as possible. If the interview they're talking about by 8, please don't arrive at 8. Arrive 20, 30 minutes to time. What will that one be advantageous to you? It will help you to get acquainted to the area. You can go there early enough, at least go to washroom, do some clean up, walk around, know the environment. You can even get the soldiers, maybe you can talk to them, laugh a little bit, get confidence from that area. But if you go late, you will be sweating, you will be shivering, you will be fearful, and by the end of the day, you won't do your well presentation. So go early enough and get acquainted with the area. That one will add you a plus in terms of confidence. Then during the interview, now you are called inside, which we will discuss later. Make sure you do what is called self-marketing. We are going there to beat a drum for ourselves, your qualifications and all that. But remember, you don't exaggerate. You talk about who you are, what you are going to deliver to the company. Don't be too much of how am I going to benefit. It's all about how are you going to benefit the company, not company benefiting you. No wonder from the part of letter of application, remember we said talk from the company's language. The same at the interview, you talk from the company's language. No wonder they will ask you what are the advantages or what are the reasons why we are going to employ you. In short, company is in need of help. It's not all about you. So what are you going to benefit the company? Those are some of the things that they ask you. So just make sure that you put yourself in that level. Then follow up the activities. Those one we will see later after the interview and all that. Make sure you just do what is called follow up activities, which we will look at them when we will be in part 3 of this episode, where we'll be talking about the follow-up activity. So I think that's all about preparation before the interview. And mark you, before we go to that one, please just make sure that you talk about the dress code. Now this is where I don't get it right with other people. When somebody said my dress, my choice, interview needs special dress code. Dress codes that are going to make you ease, dress code that are not threatening. We have some things that is called maybe shouting colors and all that. Dress code and even physical appearance determines. Because for example, if you have the rasta in your hair, I'm not saying it's bad, but maybe some Christian organizations won't prefer you. So also that's why after doing this job search, the requirement, the necessities is very nice to know what are some of the dress code. And these are some of the things that you can do prior to the interview. You can even ask them earlier. You can even do the interview, do what is called the pre-visit, reconnaissance study, some other time before a week too. If it's a place near you, travel there, maybe mingle with some staff, but don't tell them that you're coming for interview. You can maybe be friend with one person, ask them how the director behaves, what are required here, what are the restrictions and all that. Get acquainted. So dress code is very important. Most of the interview we talk of black and white is not so bad. Navy blue coat for men is not bad. For the women, please, if you are putting on a trouser, make sure the trouser is not that tight. It must be something that keeps you easy and makes you also feeling very easy. For example, navy or gray, we are told that are neutral colors that are viewed at the most professional potential employers should be having. So when you're going for interview, please, you may consider, I'm not saying a must, but you may consider a navy blue or a gray kind of dress code, because the color also really matters a lot. Don't put on something red that is really shouting, or maybe any other color that is really shouting, but gray, navy blue, black and white to some extent, but as most people prefer the navy blue color. Time, we have talked about time arrangement. Make sure that you arrive very early, very fresh. Make sure you freshen up in the washroom around before you attend your interview, and preparation about that. And then also anything else we will talk about other things some other times, but mostly those are the things. Make sure you have your copies of resume. Make sure your certificates are ready, maybe a day 2 or a day before that. List of questions that you have and all that. Now I think that is all, unless you have a question. That is the first presentation of this episode 6 part 1. Next time we meet in part 2, we will be talking of some of the questions that we get at the interview, how to answer them. Then part 3, we will be talking about some of the follow-up activity you're supposed to do. So in brief, Remember, we have talked about preparation for the interview. Do what is called job search. Consider attending the interview. While you're attending the interview, then number 3, do research about the company, know the company well. Then number 4, make sure that you understand the interview questions. Then practice public speaking, language, etiquette that are needed. Then time of travel, make sure you do prior and you know so that you don't get late for the interview. Then also do the mock interview, print your hard copies of testimonies or credentials, have with them, plan to travel early, do your marketing and sell yourself well, get in very important equity to the area, then the follow-up activities. Those are some of the few points that can really help us do better preparation for the interview, so that when we go to interview, we will really be acquainted with the things. So welcome again. Remember, don't forget to subscribe to my channel called Andedo Mark. Subscribe please, share and comment. Follow me in my Facebook account, which is called Common Sense Not Common, and my Facebook account is just Andedo Mark. Watsup, my contacts are there. You can get me, you can ask any question, and we can do research on it and do better preparation next time. See you next time, and thank you for your support, and may God bless you and all of us. By the end of the day, we are doing the little we can, but I know God will move us to the next level. I've got at least 3 physical calls. Imagine they are now working just from the simple statement we put forward, especially in the job search series. I'm really proud of that. I am thanking God for that, and I know we are going to grow to be a very, very big platform where we'll be doing a lot of consultation. See you next time. Don't forget